I'm genuinely excited to be sitting down with all of you today. I am a big admirer of your work, especially of the films that you made this year. You know, I feel like if you can, through your art, touch people's hearts, if you can change the way that we look at the world, if you can get us to see the world differently, then that's a really rare privilege and a gift. And all of you have that gift. So thank you very much for touching our hearts. And also, welcome to the Actors Roundtable 2023 films. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clap.
Thank you for having me.
Not if you don't want to. So, I want to start by asking all of you.
इतना अच्छा स्पीच था तो ताली तो मारनी पड़ेगी ना
पर अब नहीं बजाई अगर पूछना पड़ा तो फिर अच्छी नहीं थी. So I want to start by asking all of you, when you take on certain roles, do they change you?
Clearly not, because no one's answering this
everyone's
question.
going to deep
Take the
thought.
moment to think.
Suddenly,
Kya
like,
badla hai?
everyone's just like,
Go on.
Personal
you go.
for
Kajol,
me,
you go.
yeah. They do change me, and if there is no possibility of changing, then I don't accept that role. That is for me. Otherwise, there has to be a mystery, which I will, during doing of that role, which I will hopefully solve, and then something new would happen to me, and then I'll be a changed person. That's my dream for every role.
Right. And did this one change you in any way, the partner love stories, playing Seema?
Definitely, yes. Because I didn't understand her. I understood her, like I understood Tilu's character, Ishita, like looking at and having fun. But after somebody's looking at me having sex, me having fun in that, I could understand, because I'm a very shy person. Like even if I'm holding my husband's hand, it's like कोई देख तो नहीं रहा है kind of a thing. So I didn't understand कि यार इसमें कैसे क्या मजा आ सकता है. But then Tilu, you remember, she told me an example of how we all actors are exhibitionists.
Yeah.
तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि Nasir sir is my guru, and when suppose I'm doing a rehearsal in Prithvi Theatre, and suppose somebody tells me that Nasir sir has entered, suddenly I'll change and I'll start, doing something which is exhibitionist. So that gave me the no, because he's my guru. That's why.
yeah, you want.
I mean, I'll put my best front. No?
Sure.
Yeah. So that was the germ, I think.
How lovely.
From where I
Which
started.
became the entry to that part.
Correct.
How lovely.
I think it stems from everything. Every time an actor tries something new for the first time, it changes a bit in you to give you a sense of understanding and confidence that you can. I think all of us have done certain genres or certain performances or certain tones. When we do it for the first time on camera, like I remember Ek Villain, like my third film, was a character was very aggressive, kicking, jumping, killing people. To do that was nerve-wracking. To do action for the first time, and I think that stays with you. That okay, you can at least pretend to be that badass or just menacing. So
Did it change you?
it gave me confidence. Yes.
Did it give you road rage?
Not road rage. I didn't imbibe it back home.
So you were not like, didn't want to kill anybody on the
But I
road,
was
or
a
didn't
more
want to run
confident
anybody
actor.
over or anything like that?
No.
You sure?
Thank God.
Should we check your trunk?
Maybe just
Should we check your trunk?
yeah, that's true. You never know. One of us, the kind of things
That you
we
play.
get to do.
Yeah.
It is fun at times. I don't think anyone really, no, at least I have never taken it back home
Right.
to that level of scaring people.
Kajol, you've been working for many years.
I do want to play a serial killer though.
You did.
You did.
Didn't you play?
in
Hope
some
you
film,
played it.
no?
Yeah.
You
You
have.
played.
But
You
you're not a
forgot?
serial
Serial killer,
killer.
yeah.
Like,
Oh.
I'd like to play something like, that's really, really like unapologetically black, yes. I would like to play that. And not without any excuses. Like, I'd
Yeah.
love to play a Hannibal.
Right.
I'd love to play a Hannibal. I don't know whether I would be able to manage it or not, but
Of course you
the
will.
delicacy and the suave, feel to making something so unacceptable acceptable. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Nice. Nice.
I think I could sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think I'll sell it?
Will it change you?
will it change me?
Yeah.
I will have the most fun because I'll be eating chicken liver on set and pretending it's human liver and selling it to
I
you,
have
babe.
road rage because you do have road rage. I know that, Kajol. You do.
Yeah,
You know,
you-
out of everybody on this table, I'm probably the only one who drives also. So let's leave it at that.
But you, I remember
I
in the
don't know.
90s, she was the worst driver in the
Shut up.
history.
You ever sat with me in a car?
I know
No,
all your
but
stories.
you ever sat with me in a car?
I have seen you enter studios
Maybe
like,
she has.
I don't know what.
Hence, do you drive? Anybody who has not walked a mile in my shoes has no right to comment.
That's true. That's true.
Jaideep,
What? Do I drive? Yes.
when you take on certain roles, do they change you?
I think it gives you confidence.
So I really want to know, this film of yours that you did with Kareena, you had like slightly bald over there.
prosthetic makeup.
Did that change you?
No. I still
Did that
have
make
mine.
you feel? Did that make
But
you
when
feel?
you- when
What
you
did it
see
make
yourself
feel
with
when you
that
saw
prosthetic
yourself
makeup?
like, I feel like hair is such a big part of us as actors.
Yeah.
And we, as actors, I mean, that's like huge. Like if you wear short hair, your body language changes. You wear long hair and, you know,
Yeah.
it's blowing in the wind. It's fabulous. So
Yeah.
as a bald man,
So I
what
think
did it
that,
feel
that
like?
worked for Naren Vyas.
Yeah.
He's a man who's losing hair and
And he was supposed to look a
and
particular.
in love with like lady like
This
this.
hot woman
So
next to
he's,
her,
he's
next to you.
underconfident with that hair also. So
But did it change you as a person?
No.
Look at his hair.
Yeah, he's got a
I still have my hair. So
Play that part.
yeah, but it gives you kind of confidence that you can, if you have a good team, if you have a good
Yeah.
director, and they put some confidence in you, you can pull off something which is very not normal for you maybe.
I don't know. I think coming onto the OTT platform, that was a little nerve-wracking. And somewhere I feel it did change the way I was performing. I don't know. Somehow it was just like as though I was coming on, onto the screen for the first time. It's like what I felt 24 years ago. I was as nervous because somehow I feel like that TV just kind of, I don't know, it's more like personal. Somebody could be watching you like lying down in bed. Most of us are just watching shows and these movies, lying down in a comfortable space. You're really, really like up close and personal, rather than sitting like, in a cinema, like munching popcorn, like where the screen is there. So somehow I just feel like that altered my thought a little bit. And even now I'm still like nervous like to do a show or an OTT film.
So
rather
then,
than
did it take a lot before you said yes to that?
I mean, I always wanted to work with Sujoy, but it was the right kind of script. And I think a thriller would be different for me to do rather than the same kind
But you
of...
were fab, by the way.
I think with the script, I think all of us just...
Yeah, shut up. You were fab. Accept the compliment.
Okay, thank you. Coming from one of my most favorite actors. So
Okay.
I'll take
Gaurav
it.
Bhatt.
Tillotama?
So Rajeev, I don't know. I have a husband who's not part of the industry, and so when I get home, we don't discuss work at all. And even if I do become very excited about what I've done today, I have only 2-3 minutes that I can really talk to him about work because he gets bored. So he said, you have 2-3 minutes and I have attention deficit disorder. So tell me in brief, what was your highlights? And I think that practice has just kept a healthy line, because there are many interests that I have beyond work, beyond cinema and films. And it's nice to make time for that, to travel for that, to read for that. But despite that, in retrospect, it's not something you take away, become so clinical about, and I'm very pragmatic. But with time, there's some things you do and suddenly there's a flash of something that you had experienced on set with a character. And I think few films have done that. And Kissa was one of them, where I think playing a man, I thought was just something I'd leave behind like every other thing. But then it's kind of disturbed an equilibrium of what does it mean to be a woman? Because I tried my best to explore, manhood. Now I'm not even sure about what it feels to be a woman, And so there's certain disturbances that happen. And with Lust Stories, playing someone who's a voyeur, it hasn't changed me, but it has, again, I think, disturbed the equilibrium of we are bystanders to so many things that happen. we like watching but not participating, and there is a guilty pleasure in just witnessing something. And so again, there I think the idea of viewership, what you can see and walk away from, but then you take something with you, you know, when you walk away. So I think things got a bit murky with love stories as well. But it's with few jobs that, and I think it happens only with time, you know.
I think as actors, I remember Amitji telling me this actually very long back. Not telling me, but I remember watching an interview of his where he said that there are certain experiences that you have while you're shooting a film. And we've all, I think, done countless films and we've all experienced
You have,
and
Kajol.
played.
We are still getting there.
No, but we've all played different scenarios.
Yeah.
So more than the role, I would say the scenario and your reaction to that scenario is what you always remember.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like, you know, you've cried so many times, you know, supposedly at somebody's funeral.
Correct.
And when you actually go to a funeral, you almost feel, when you go to a real funeral, you almost somewhere down the line feel like deja vu.
Yeah.
I've done this before. So I think that's really what as actors you feel somewhere down the line that, you know, what would you, it's a very scary question, but what would you really do if you know, this scenario came up actually happened with you? Would you feel like you are part of a film? Would you feel like part of it is part of a film and that you're really acting it out, or would it feel real?
Right.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know, somehow, sometimes you feel very disconnected to the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it happens, it's scary sometimes, really scary that you don't want to talk to anyone. It feels that what our life in front of camera is more real sometimes than the real world, and you don't want to
You've
be
left
there.
so much of that part
Yeah,
of
like-
yourself inside there.
Sanya.
Yeah, I think starting off my career, I didn't have a healthy boundary with work. And I used to take back emotions and what I was feeling as an actor back home, not knowing. I wasn't aware of it. And of course, it used to play with my mental health quite a bit. But now I think I know I'm much more aware, oh, this is what I'm inducing for my character, and I don't have to take this back home. But sometimes I do like to, you know, sympathize with my character instead of empathizing with them. Like, I really like to wear their shoes and live their lives. I feel very nice when for those 40, 50 days you are living someone else's life. I really enjoy doing that. I think I did that for Paglet. And it's not with every character. I think it changes with the films and the characters that you're playing. But I love doing that.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Kajol, in Love Stories 2, you played an oppressed wife, a victim of domestic and sexual abuse. She plots to eliminate her oppressor when she sees an opportunity. The big twist in the end, which actually is never shown to us, we discover it as a viewer on your face. And to me, that was the masterstroke of that film. How did you put yourself in the head of this woman who is dealt the cruelest hand of fate just when she thinks she may have found an escape?
You know, I have to give my credit to my director for that, because I think I was very much in the present moment at that point of time. But I think it had a lot to do with how he edited it, put it together, talked me through it. Amit really, really talked me through a lot of it. So he was, and it was one of the last things that we shot as well. So it had a lot of, we had already finished shooting, you know, 90% of it. So
you
I
had
already
done the
had
graph, right?
Yeah, you had the graph in mind. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen, and this is where you are finally by the end of it. And honestly, I have no clue because I've not even seen the monitor as to you know, what exactly happened on it. But I was like, "Acha, theek hai, you understand now what's happening. You're happy with the shot.
Correct. You got it right.
Yeah, you got it right. You got what you wanted." So he was like, "Yes, I did." So yeah, I think it has to do with a lot with the director, and yeah, to be able to talk your actor through it, I think I'd give credit to him for that.
Kareena, in Jaane Jaan, you play this distraught mother who goes to great lengths to cover up a crime. Maya is sort of permanently harried because there's this dagger that's hanging over her head permanently. And then there is that scene in the karaoke bar where you finally see her smile. It's that one time that you see her sort of relax for a bit. It's one of the best scenes in the film, and they also made you sing for that scene, didn't they?
I mean, so Joy wanted me to sing. But yeah, I mean, it was a karaoke, so you had to kind of,
Sing now.
we all run away.
But did
But
you?
it was fun.
Yeah.
Because obviously throughout the film, throughout the shoot, the performance was on a
Singer.
different level. And then suddenly, we kind of had to have this light moment.
Right.
And I feel like Vijay and my chemistry, the fact that we never worked together, the fact that we do come from different worlds, and by that I don't mean in terms of performance. I think that just the circumstances of our lives are very different. The kind of films we've always done, I mean, have been different. We never crossed paths. So somehow I think that also helped in the performance.
Right.
The fact that we're two actors who, have just been chucked together, who
Correct.
really actually don't know.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
they're from, NSD.
Right.
I'm from
Bollywood.
the K3G School of Acting. I mean, I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't know. So we're just chucked together and then, just figure it out. So I think that's what worked.
Maybe that caused the magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Kareena, I
That's
really
going to
want
be
to
an
tell
iconic
you,
one.
it's so great to meet you here because I started I started with her in Dev.
Wow.
I don't know how, but even
Govind Nilani's.
Govind Nilani's Dev, and I was her friend who is always with her. And after that, meeting you in this space is really nice.
No, I think it's amazing on you, who was, been such a fabulous artist to be here. I think.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Round table.
I think all of us.
And you would sing, but you have to give voice rest, now.
Yeah, I have. So I used to
He got a disease who only singers get.
Right.
So I'm sure
Change
it's
her.
coming from Jaane Jaan.
maybe it's coming
Maybe
from
from Jaane Jaan.
Yeah. That probably changed her fully.
Yeah,
She became a
that
singer
changed
after
my
that.
Yeah. Tillotama and Amruta, the confrontation scene between Seema and Ishita in Love Stories 2, it's one of the most delicious pieces of acting in recent times.
Right.
It starts off, of course, as a staged fight because it's done for the sake of that husband who's there, but it sort of quickly spirals into this ugly, full-blown showdown. I love it because both women have on some level been caught. So there's this mixture of anger and shame. How much rehearsal did it take, and was everything on the page?
Everything was on the page down to the comma, the pause.
Wow.
So the punctuation, Coco was very particular, and Coco loves rehearsing. And and I would sometimes not look at her because she also is such a fabulous actor that she, can't help but show, and I didn't want to see. So I would be listening to her with my eyes closed. I'm like, yeah, because if I see you, I can't unsee it, And but she loves it. She loves rehearsing. So we,
And I remember we rehearsing that scene in Coco's house. Then in the house,
In the
we
actual
were going
house.
to do that
Yeah.
scene actually. And then, but still, I remember that, we were not, both of us, to keep it fresh, we were not by-hearting it properly. And I remember when that scene came, me and Tilu were like, aaj jhagadna hai bhai. And then we were like, let's rehearse. And then I remember we rehearsing it till we were going there. Otherwise, वो freshness भी कभी-कभी, we चला जाता है. But for me, you know what? Confrontation scene, yes, everyone tells us about that. But for me, वो जो सब्जी वाला scene है ना, it's my own favorite.
Yeah.
Because एक तो night shoots जैसे अभी आप कह रहे थे ना, it was a night shoot में बहुत घंटे का shoot हो चुका है. But when that line comes, no, कि मुझे भी मज्जा आता था. And the way Tilu was looking at me and what all she gave me, I almost felt like I'm coming out of closet, Seema. Right. And that moment we were, I mean, yes, I was enjoying being watched by you. Thank you. I didn't know that I would feel that. So I almost वैसा लगा, and that क्षण, no, we had not planned it, but that raat, midnight, and we are shooting, and I was just looking into her eyes, and I have got this term called Brahmakshan, where, it's like conceiving a child. You can't plan it. Sometimes it's like, you're doing that scene. Yeah, it happens. You leave your body and you just go into somewhere else's mind, and that actor is giving you something and it happens or it doesn't happen. सब कुछ कर रहे हैं लेकिन कभी होगा कभी नहीं होगा kind of a thing. So I'm so grateful to Coco and Tilu for giving me that You know what was interesting about the confrontation scene for me was when we were rehearsing, Coco said, I want whatever pitch I speak in. She said, I want it like 5 pitch higher.
I can believe that.
Yeah. I was like, Coco, I can't speak like that. I don't speak like that, you know? She's like, no, because there's a stylistically, there was a Tom and Jerry like a chase, you know? And there was a treatment in the film which was like a chase, like a thriller. And then there was this hyper natural. So there were these two styles. So as an actor, you have to shift gear from like hyper realism to this pitched, staged fight. Yeah. And so that I remember trying to get that pitch was so odd for my body because I've just never spoken like that. And then when we actually did the fight, there was one take, I think, which is what she kept. But when my spit came out of my mouth, and I was like, oh God, she's going to cut it. But that's the one that made it to... So with this scene, I would say it's one of the examples of heavily rehearsed. Where every beat, like theatre, you know, you stage it till, like, there is no room for doubt. And then once you get on set, you just play. And the freedom that comes with that is something and something beautiful happened, I remember, while we were shooting it. He's saying sorry, that husband. And I'm saying कि ये मुझे ऐसा बोल रही तो उसको sorry क्यों बोल रहा है? You know, and then मैं अचानक बोलती हूँ ये हमें यहाँ पे देखती थी. And then Coco took that shot. Suddenly the fight stops and there is this shot of the mirror. That was a very haunting moment.
Yeah. Sanya, you know, on paper, the plot of Kathal seems quite improbable, a bit slight even, and yet you bring this very authentic innocence and earnestness to this role of this police officer who's been tasked with finding these 2 jackfruits that have got stolen from the home of this important sort of politician. There's really a genuine sweetness to that character in the film. I love how Mahima, the cop that you play, first asks her boss, you can't be serious, this can't really be what you're asking her to do. And then, of course, she just gets into it. You know, there's a very fine line between what is sweet and what's cloying, a little bit annoying. How do you strike that? How do you achieve that balance and not turn that into, like, this is just annoying?
I think she also finds it bizarre.
Yeah.
The first scene itself, वो कहती है कि ऐसे तो मुश्किल हो जाएगी सर, कल को लोग कुमड़ा लौकी तुरई की रिपोर्ट लिखवाने आ जाएंगे. For her, also this whole case is bizarre and she doesn't want to do it. It's that, like, when she meets her officer, her boss, and he tells her कि तुम ये कर दो, मैं तुम्हारे boyfriend का भी promotion कर दूंगा. That's what gives her the confidence that I have to go find these 2 jackfruits anyhow. And that's kind of the push that she needed. But for her too, she doesn't want to do it. Like, she wants to do other things and help the society.
Correct. Bigger things.
Bigger things. And I think it was all in the writing. Yashu and Ashokji has written it beautifully. As Tillotama said, like, when you have such good writers and directors, then I think it makes our job easier. Then you just have to play it with your other co-actors. Don't have to think about it too much. That's it.
Yeah. Jaideep, you know that scene at the end of Jaane Jaan where Mrs. D'Souza comes to teacher to find out why did he do that? It's the most beautiful and possibly the saddest scene in that film. Especially the bit where he suddenly explodes. And with that, he makes sure that she's...
I'm not the killer.
Are you asking where's the body?
Yeah. Now, so I'm wondering whether
Kajol, are you living under a rock?
Pretty much.
Especially that bit where he suddenly explodes. And in that, he makes sure that she's off the hook completely. It's an act of massive sacrifice, of course. How did you approach that scene, Jaideep? And what is the emotion that you were hoping to evoke from the viewer? Is it sympathy for teacher?
I don't know. I think on paper it was written that way, that this is the last chance he's going to see Maya. And thank her, because she doesn't know that she saved him from dying one day. She just needs to tell her that you are the savior. It's not it's actually I'm doing that because I'm alive because of you. I don't know how I approached it. I was just there thinking about Naren all the time. I remember not talking to Bebo much because I think I didn't want to know Kareena. And I'm very bad at small talks like how was the day, how's the coffee, and very bad. at that. Yeah, very sad about that. So I always like kind of sit away from Kareena. So बात नहीं करनी पड़े जिसकी वजह से because I didn't want to. ऐसा नहीं कि
Sorry,
of course
but this is just for the scene or for the entire
Really?
film?
for the entire film.
For the entire film, you didn't
Oh, you didn't talk?
No, you
Oh,
just
really?
like-
Not
very
not much,
formal.
not like much. Like
That's very
like,
mean.
Not
That's
conversation.
very-
That's not
because I
nice.
never told her also. This is the first place I'm talking about this
As a
because
process.
I was already
But I was
very
talking. I'm like always,
intimidated by her persona in that sense.
You didn't notice.
But
Yeah,
then it
because I
helped
was doing all the time.
in a way. But here in the scene, Naren was all about giving.
Yeah.
And let me tell you that I'll be here
Yeah.
and you will live your life happily with your daughter, and nobody will ever.
I know.
That's the only thing, because now in the paper it's written in a way, okay, he stays that sound. And,
Yeah.
of course he does that, and she didn't know. And I
But
shouted
I-
at her, and she was like,
It's so Joy did my angle first with the close-ups, finished my angle. So, and he was giving me the cues.
Correct.
And then suddenly he says, Jaideep ka angle lagao. Suddenly Jaideep does it. In 24 years of working, after my shot, I'm not that kind of actor. I'm very like, I've done it, I've gone, I'm done, leave it, whatever it is. Because I'm always been this confident actor.
Yeah.
And obviously, the shot happened and I froze. I was like, oh gosh, I've never seen something like this before.
Wow.
I've worked with every actor in this industry.
okay, I'm
And
done.
I told
I'm
Sir
going.
Joy, I said, Mera shot fir se lo.
I'm done.
He said, Kyun? I said, what is it done? I'm feeling like I'm I don't know, some faltu. I said, do it again. He was like, no, you're also fat.
Yeah, it was very good. And then third angle was Vijay.
Yeah.
He never knew कि उसको कब आना है. So he's asking me what's my cue because he's behind the door. He can't listen what I'm saying to Maya. And he said कि भाई मेरा cue क्या है? मैंने कहा तुझे बहुत अच्छे से पता चलेगा.
You will hear that.
And he startled. उसको जैसे चीख सुन उसको लगा कि हुआ क्या? He opened the gate like what happened?
Yeah, everyone was shocked. That's why then we all realized, okay,
Because
we've just succumbed
nobody
to
knew.
Jaideep
Nobody
Ahlawat's
knew.
movie.
Only me and Sujay knew this कि हाँ ये होने वाला है.
But now that we're talking about Jaideep, I was also stunned by his one moment. That was action hero ना Jaideep, मैंने आपको बताया था. वो जो like he's having food, तभी फोन आता है कि आपके भाई को मार दिया गया. That is the situation.
Yeah.
And वो खा रहा है खाना और तभी somebody asks him roti, and by impulse he is like नहीं. But पहले because he's eating right,
right.
तो उसने जो ये किया ना, it was so true.
Right.
कि मतलब भाई खाना खा रहा है कोई, अचानक से आपको ये न्यूज़ मिलता है. So I'm like, when he's saying ना, I don't know. I think मुझे नहीं पता उसने वो प्लान किया या वो हो गया मुझे, but that was a true moment कि यार
I think,
रोटी चाहिए,
was
but
the
oh no,
first-
my brother is dead.
I used to plan that
Yeah.
sometime, but now it became boring for me also as an actor. कि नहीं ये आपको कुछ नहीं दे रहा है. So I stopped doing that, and just lines, read your lines like 100 times, 50 times, 1,000 times, or whatever. जितना भी time है आपके पास. So I think that helps a lot
Okay.
because those lines becomes your second nature. You like somebody taps you and you can
And
say
you
the
can be
lines.
able to deliver.
So I think after that you don't think even a blink of second about what next, what's the next word.
Correct.
Yeah.
When it happens, then the magic starts.
Yeah.
And
What is-
you are also a witness to that.
Correct.
It's not it's
Not just
happening
the
to
other
you for
side.
the first time.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Siddharth, in Mission Majnu, you played a raw agent who meticulously and methodically sort of scuttles Pakistan's nuclear mission. I think every young actor who's grown up on Jason Bourne and James Bond has this sort of
See, you should have worn a
fascination.
tuxedo. I told you.
I
You
know the
should have
film
worn
was
a
over.
tuxedo. You should
And
have
my
worn a
character is
jacket
nothing like
and,
James Bond.
Correct,
so
correct.
It's quite far from.
There is an ambition to be flamboyant and play a spy. I think anyone who's grown up. But in this character, I mean, you all were clearly going for a more authentic, a more realistic take rather than flamboyant. Of course, the character itself, for this character itself, you'll lean in on your sort of inherent charm because he's meant to get important people to reveal important secrets. But it's a very sincere performance that really holds the film together. I want to ask you, Sid, what's the trick in trying to play authentic and understated, but because it's a commercial film, to also bring a little bit of that flair to the part of a spy, if you like?
Again, it starts from the writing first. I mean, inherently, because it was not completely fiction, it was from real incidents.
Yeah.
It was something that happened in history. We didn't want to make it James Bond. It was far from it.
Correct.
And the fun was also to play those scenes where you're not really doing action or getting away with gadgets or anything. It's
Correct.
purely just like I was playing a tailor in Pakistan
Yeah.
who's, in Rawalpindi,
Correct.
to one of those Muslim, boys who've come from the ground and trying to work their way towards this army world. So I think it definitely comes from writing, from those moments, from those close-ups. If your director doesn't have the vision that you have to have that little commercial element.
Yeah.
Thoda bahut, of course, you take those slightly. I always felt like pauses or looks
Yeah.
is something that can add to that little commercial flair, depending from film to film.
Right.
So in Mission Majnu specifically, we were very conscious of कि अच्छा यार ये moment पे audience को पता है कि ये क्या कोशिश कर रहा है. He's pretending to be this tailor and he's actually this other playing this other secret spy in Rawalpindi. So yeah, I think it was a good balance. It's very tempting at times.
Yeah.
To
give
have that,
that
but we
look,
knew
huh?
right from the beginning. We had our workshops and it was more interesting to play somebody from that world. To be a tailor, I've never played a tailor in Pakistan, and I was actually literally being so sincere about it. कि अच्छा चलो sewing machine कैसे करते हैं? With like 1 week of workshop with all of that, which maybe didn't help, but I think it helps you in getting into that character.
Right.
So you made anything else recently?
Did I make anything else recently? No.
Made anything
I learned how to
else
make a
recently?
pocket though.
Really?
Yeah, he was teaching me. Ki,
So now that
to
you're
fold it.
married,
Yeah.
does Kiara something
Bas,
for
bas.
all
I
our
recently made a pizza for her. So we discussed.
That I know.
That's about it. So
That we all saw.
I didn't change me to that extent.
Okay.
That she suddenly. अब मैं
One dry martini for
अपने
Sidharth.
सी रहा हूँ क्या हो गया बेबी अच्छा काम उसका टांका वांका फिक्स हो रहा है.
To all of you, have you ever really fought for a role?
I think there are certain films and directors you want to work with.
I fought in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Yeah.
For that
Yeah.
role?
But you fought with them on set.
I
or
fought
before?
with Karan.
अच्छा.
To get
But
the
to
role.
get
I
the
To
fought
get the role.
with Karan. I wanted to play Tina's role desperately. And Karan, I wanted to play Tina's role. He's like, no, you're playing Anjali. I said, but I want to play. You don't know what I'll do with Tina, dude. You just don't know what I'll do with her. Karan was like, shut up. I said, but I want to. I really want to. I fought with him tooth and nail for nearly 45 minutes. He refused categorically. So,
Really?
there we go.
So it didn't
No, I
come
think
to much,
everything
the
worked
final
out
bit.
really perfect. We're pretty happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone's like,
Anjali.
thank
Yeah,
God. thank
exactly.
God. Turned out just fine.
Yeah.
The rest of you? You said you were saying.
Yeah, I feel like I did a photo shoot to to make him like Mohit Suri, for example, for Ek Villain.
Yeah.
At that time, for some reason, we were like, there's a film which is, my earlier two films were different tonality completely. So I remember doing a photo shoot, which were just like, ghar pe against a wall, wearing a black shirt, growing a stubble and beard, thinking that's how I would look a little more tougher and macho at that time. And just sending him those. So I don't think they really helped, but he just appreciated the effort.
Right.
That, someone really wants a role.
Correct.
That you do your own version, like giving an audition. But yet trying to, get that look there, to sell it hard and to want to play that character. It worked out well.
But speaking of auditions, barring the last 3 years, it's been a tooth and nail fight to get any work. Right? It's been a fight like gloves on. Come on. Like, I send an audition, I wake up the next morning, I'm like, nope, I can do it better. And I'd shoot myself again and be like, send it. Then a few days later, I'm like, no, there's something else I can do. So I constantly keep sending because it was like, because when you come to the city, you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And they're not obliged to know you either.
Right.
So it's not from a place of angst, but it's a place of how do you then show what you have, and auditions were like really a battlefield. And with time, because I used to get so worked up about it, there's one trick I started playing in my head that I've already got the part.
I'm going for shoot.
Right.
So then I would dress up, I would do my own makeup. I have these wonderful friends who would sometimes come and do my hair and the makeup for the part. And then I'd go for the audition, like, हाँ क्या करना है? Which scene are we doing? They don't know I'm thinking this, but in my head I'm like, what? It'll take 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. But in my head, that really helped me then just calm the, the mess inside. But it has always been a fight. I'm really surprised the last few years that I've got work without an audition. I'm so nervous that kind of last minute, I hope they don't change their mind, So I don't know if I've really earned it. I'm not on tape already. But it feels very nice not to audition. This is not me saying please, because it still feels like an exam.
Now you should tell the directors, show
आप
me your
दिखाओ,
audition.
show
आप
me your-
दिखाओ आपने क्या बनाया.
क्या shoot किया?
Now you're like,
Tables have turned.
Yeah, but it would
they
be
dare
such a
not
nice,
ask.
space to be in, actually, to be able to fight. As Tilu is also saying, like, I have worked with Anurag in 3 different projects, but each project I have given
Kashyap.
audition. Yeah, each project I have given audition, because I think Kashyap's way of asking you whether you will do the part is audition, because sometimes he feels that maybe she doesn't want to do this. So all 3 films I have auditioned, and I have auditioned up till now, like, as Tilu said, only Gully Boy and Last Stories 2 are the only 2 films, 2 projects where I have not auditioned. And
That
so
would
yeah,
have
but
been
it
an interesting audition though.
Gully Boy and this thing.
Last story.
Did you
would have
audition?
been a
Last Stories
very
2 audition, no?
Interesting audition.
No, but you know what, Kajol? When I read the script, there were so many intimate scenes, and I'm like scared of doing intimate scenes. I'm not scared of any other emotion but these scenes. So I told Coco, I need one full day with Shrikant, who played my husband. He's my best friend, okay? For years, and he's like, मैं तेरे साथ ये नहीं कर सकता भाई, ये क्या है? And he's like,
best friend.
so yeah, and my husband is his friend. My husband is also an actor. So my husband is telling him, तू कर लेगा यार, अच्छे से कर लेगा. तो ये इतना फन था. तो ये मुझे बता रहा है श्रीकांत, अब देख संदेश बोल रहा है तो मैं कर रहा हूँ भाई. मैं कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है. But then
Permission मिली है मुझे.
permission, भाई मास्टर से परमिशन मिले है, like गुरुजी ने मुझे बोला है. But then I didn't want this on screen between us. कि भाई तेरे को हाथ लगाओ, तेरे को. So I did this one day, as you were saying, it was kind of not audition, but that one day we were in Coco's bedroom. Anand Bansal, who is our cinematographer, Shrikant, myself, and Kunkuna. All the positions, Kareena. Because I said no. Yeah.
Acha.
Yes, we rehearsed.
Then you guys would decide which one looks better,
Yes,
like that?
exactly. No, and see, for Shrikant, who is playing my husband, see, after all these years of relationship, you're not looking, oh, तूने पल्लू निकाला है. You're not looking at the person like that. You know, if you're husband and wife for all these years, there's a chemistry. Like, पल्लू भी निकला है तो देखेगा भी नहीं, like, because after all these years, you're not, oh gosh, तूने पल्लू निकाला. It's that
Matter of
kind
fact,
chemistry.
yeah.
So I did that day of different positions, which really helped me.
Amruta, bring it closer.
What is it?
Cheese.
Okay.
I'm talking about their scene. She's done a scene with Saif and Qurban.
Right.
It was quite a very sensual private scene. and
But
it
we
was
were
full-
already dating, so maybe we were
It was
rehearsing.
easier.
I don't know. Maybe we were auditioning.
Oh yeah, that time you guys were not mad.
Audition.
That was-
Private audition.
Private audition is a nice concept.
Yeah, so
But
that
like
worked
this,
out
it's
well.
a very,
Really.
it's a very interesting point. I think after Razi, I fought with almost every director on the choices of the character within a scene.
Yeah.
Like you said, okay, what position will look better in camera
Correct.
in terms of showing that chemistry
Yeah.
out of it. But yeah, I realized that you should genuinely fight with your director with the choices of a character. Okay, should
we
I?
should all fight with our
Yeah.
director.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
You-
fine.
either you
Not
convince
fought
them
for the role,
or
we
they
fought with
convince
them in the scene.
Either you convince them or you confuse them.
Yeah, much better.
What happens when your director has a different vision?
You fight.
And walk away. till the time.
Never walk away.
Have you
Never
ever
walk away.
Has anyone walked
You
off a
fight.
set?
No.
No, you
Never.
can't.
Not yet.
Kajol is thinking.
I'm thinking. I'm going
Yeah,
back.
I
Let me think.
one-sided.
Huh?
One-sided, but not the anger, but it might, I might shout at
I
something
might
I
have.
didn't
Yeah.
want.
That's why I'm just thinking.
So just calming myself,
Forgotten,
just,
huh? You-
just leaving the space for some time. That's it.
Right.
No, even in like I was an assistant
I haven't
director when
walked
she
off
was
it.
my name is Khan.
Oh
She
my
was
I
Oh,
didn't walk off. I would not have walked off that set though.
Yeah.
yeah, that's correct. She
I was having
far
too much
from,
fun over there.
Far from having any
I don't think
discussions.
so. Anybody
about
heard
this.
anything?
No.
Okay, cool. I've never walked off a set.
Yeah.
No one else? No one? No.
No, I think.
Have you ever played a character you didn't like?
yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, like, acha. Oh, yeah.
No. And I'll give you a reasoning for it. Because I think that every character that I would speak personally for myself, but I'm assuming it's for most actors, that somewhere down the line, whenever we choose a character to play, it is always that you will choose a character who is some part of you. There is some part of you that identifies with this character that you're playing. Maybe it will be a completely, maybe it'll be a really small
thing,
part
right.
of your own character. It won't be an overwhelming characteristic of yourself. But there will always be some part of you that identifies with this character, which is why you feel you can build up on it and make something, at least that's for me as a... And to make something more out of it, you have to at some point identify, okay, okay, this is what I like of this character. I will take that and I will,
So that's
kind of
even when you're
build-
playing someone that's that morally is doing things that you wouldn't agree with necessarily, or a villain.
Yeah. Because at
You'll
the end
find
of the day,
something.
whether we have even if you're playing a villain for that matter, somewhere down the line we felt it.
Yeah.
As human beings, we're all human beings. We felt jealous, we felt greedy, we felt horrible. We wanted it to run people over. We wanted to chuck people up and put them in our trunks. But we haven't done that.
You started with that and now you're still
yet.
talking about I want to check your car now.
No, yet we haven't.
All your cars.
I'm
And the
trying to
back
tell
of your
you,
house.
It's a part of. I'm trying to tell you, it's human nature behavior.
Even though we don't act on it. But yeah.
We don't act upon it.
Yeah.
We're all law-abiding citizens here.
No, not liking as in what happened. I did a serial. In that, a character started with something. And then her husband starts beating her. But then she's just taking it in. And I'm asking, when is she going to retaliate? So I was not like, because, wo daru pi ke aa raha hai, main uske shoes nikal rahi hu. And that was working. The TRP is going high. And it was so sad that my producer was telling me कि वो जब तुम्हें थप्पड़ मारता है TRP हाई जाता है तो तुम्हें थप्पड़ मारेगा. मैंने कहा यार no, I can't take it. उसको भी तो कुछ करने दो. Sometimes and that showed me something about our society. जहाँ पे थप्पड़ मारने से TRP ऊपर जाए. So that was the character. I was feeling very suffocated and I really wanted to retaliate. And that's why, Kajol, I really loved your role in in those parts in Love Stories too, where you're so strong, but when he's almost abusing you, your husband, that must have been sometimes like very difficult to take, no? Like when he's abusing.
I think that's
physically.
something I give credit to my director for that, for shooting it very smartly.
Yeah.
And I have to say that it has always been my take as an actor that I will not do scenes that require me to be either molested or in any which way show me in a place where I don't want to be, because I think as actors, when we're doing a shot, we're feeling it.
Yeah.
We are really feeling it.
Yes.
So yes, we are actors up to a point, but the camera, I feel, is one of those things. It's like it's man-made magic, and it tends to capture it if you're not being honest in front of it. And at times like this, you need to be honest. So that's been my personal this thing on it, that no, I don't want to do this. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable when I have to act out a scene where I'm being physically abused or molested or in any which way. Even if it's a close-up for that matter, I've done it. It's not that I haven't. But it's very, very, very uncomfortable and very disturbing. And I don't feel that I need to do it to prove a point. I can prove my point to be a good actor in 100 different other ways. I don't need this particular experience.
Exactly. This is what happened with me, and that's why I didn't like that.
The character, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, ever played someone you didn't like?
I think I'm just.
No.
No.
I had a blast.
That would be heartbreaking because everyone loves Pooh.
Yeah.
I think we just had a blast.
We had a blast. She was so cool.
I don't know.
Well, in 2023, what do you think of Pooh? What is your...
I think every Gen Z girl is poor, Neena, na?
It's back.
Correct. Her
Yes.
Everyone
dialogues
is just doing
and
that
her
now.
expressions.
Who has a timeless value?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow. But I just did a film with Hansal, which is going to come on Netflix, but in the theaters. It's called Buckingham Murder, where I play a grieving mother of, her child gets shot in the first scene of the film, and she's a detective. And she's been given the case. She runs away from this town, and she goes to this town, and she's been given this case. But I've just I think I've somehow loved playing that part because I love playing detective. This is the first time I'm playing, and I'm a huge crime drama and fan, and I've watched all of these crime dramas. But somehow I just found that was just deeply disturbing, and after a point, I just I'm just I don't want to know her because she's so unhappy and just so grieving, that grief that after a point I was just I want to go home.
Right. So the three of you? Ever played someone you didn't like?
It was great fun playing Karishma's character for Delhi Crime, where she's actually killing people.
Yeah.
There's nothing nice. There's no way you can really justify killing, taking someone's life.
Yeah.
It's not for you to give. It's not for you to take. But I think I agree with Kajol that I would say yes to a character where I can see that person's humanity in
Some
something.
way.
Because if I can't, as a human being, I don't know how to play it. Or, then I'm just showcasing a badass villain, which I'm not interested in playing a trope, or playing a stereotype of a villain who's just going to take a hammer and kill people, and then it's going to be sensationalized as killing is so cool. It's not cool. So, but what made her kill someone?
Yeah.
What was her backstory? And then she wasn't given a choice in having to decide whether she wants to be a mother or not. It was forced on her. What happens to a woman when the choice is taken away from her? So that empathy, you play then everything with that empathy, but there's something you have to find.
To empathize.
To empathize. But I did have a similar thing, as Kajol said. For instance, I did one film when I was much, much younger, where where I was raped, and in the playing of it, while it was happening, the scene, and I was on my back, I was being raped, and suddenly I just felt why am I doing this? Why am I here? Yeah. I want to be home. And I've never felt that about my work. I'm so excited to be on set, and I'm as excited to go home because I love my home. But I've never felt shit. I then process that I don't, this is a very personal view, I don't think I need to see rape enacted on film unless, because I already know it's heinous, and it's actually psychologically I can't understand a person's mind who can commit and I don't know how they override consent, it's just so basic. It's so difficult for me to grasp it that if film has to show it, I would only be perhaps interested in it if it shows the rapist's mind.
Right.
That what makes, what kind of psychosis, what's going on in that person's head that doesn't let them hear a no, And if the camera entirely was, and the woman's body is never shown, because why do we have to see it again? And so that's something I decided after I did that film, I will not do it again unless it explores the psyche of, so there are some things that, and that's one of the things that I just won't do,
I did a film called Ittifaq, where eventually you find out that I'm the one who murdered my own wife. So there as well, we were struggling with when they narrated this idea to me. I said, you want me to be the murderer right in the end, and the last few minutes that you realize. So we had a long discussion as to why would he play all this charade and go through what's his main motivation. Because half the things you don't really show the audience. So I think somewhere at least I was personally dabbling with, will the audience buy into this? There's also, you're there to engage them. Is it interesting enough, engaging enough, surprise element is enough? Moralistically also, will I pull off that last 2 minutes of making that phone call, that key, I'm the one and doing that. So there, I think, yes, so when you go back to your own life, you realize that, yes, I have been extremely greedy at times to be a certain thing or want that, or, when you're struggling, or you're attached to certain things in life that you don't want to let go of. And possibly if you multiply that into 100 times, I could go, mad and want those things so badly that you would take such extreme steps. But it was all in your head. You don't really know. I don't really know what it is. I think none of us do what it is to be so aggressive and so scheming and to take someone's life. So anything that you see on celluloid is 99 to 100% in violence or in such cases of showing something which is very heinous like rape is always make believe. Everybody has their own interpretation. So I think even if you're not moralistically agreeing with your character, that's your job to find some way to connect with it, to make it believable कि हाँ यार इस situation में मैं ऐसा कर सकता हूँ, and that's the victory when you do it so convincingly that the audience is with you.
But if I may say that, it's a character that, of course, I'm just talking in my case, not of course in everybody else's, but like the character that I played now in Buckingham Murder, the grief made me uncomfortable, but it also gave me a lot of joy to play. So not every character that makes you feel uncomfortable, you have to dislike. You might dislike it because, it's all the pain, that's what I love. But for me, it's a career-defining role, and like it's one of my best characters that I still want. In fact, I told Hansal that let's make it into a 4-part because I don't want to let go of the character, but at the same time, I'm like, her grief is so
I'll have to
painful
revisit all of that grief again.
hard to revisit. But it's probably one of my best characters that I want to like keep doing with Hansal always.
Wow. Dying to see it.
Amazing.
No, I empathize with all my characters.
I think you hated the jackfruit, no?
I hated the jackfruit.
कहाँ गया
Loved the
बदतमीज?
Loki, Tori, and Tinda.
कटहल गायब हो गए थे।
कहीं का?
But no, I don't hate any of my characters. As everyone else said, that there are some scenes that leave you feeling uncomfortable and you don't want to be in that situation. You don't feel like doing it. It leaves you feeling disturbed. But as Kareena said, it leaves you feeling happy as well. Like Love Hostel was one of the films where people were getting killed in front of me and you have to like be in that moment. Of course, I've never experienced it, but that leaves you feeling very uncomfortable and not a nice scenario to be in.
जैसे आप बोल रहे थे, you were saying there have been characters that you've not
No.
No?
If I see, जब तक करियर में कोई चूज करने की औकात नहीं थी, तब तक तो जो मिल रहा था वो कर ही रहे थे आप। तो आपको पसंद है नहीं है उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा था। बट जब से चॉइस मिली,
लेकिन अभी आपके पास वॉइस है, तो अभी ये सवाल आज के जमाने में है।
जब से
तो अभी बताइए।
मैं चूज करने लायक हुआ हूँ। If I don't like the character or any disturbance, like you feel disturbed about that, but then it's okay because it's not you.
Correct.
You need to like your character, otherwise you won't be able to
Give it your best.
faith in it.
Right.
Correct.
If you're not believing in that, you will never transfer that belief to the audience. I believe that I kill people like this, like Commando.
Correct.
I kill the entire family playing a cricket match on the ground,
Right.
on the road, and there is this truck coming, और सामने हीरोइन की पूरी फैमिली को एक गाड़ी में बैठा रखा है, and he's playing cricket. टक, और वो टक के साथ ट्रक ने उड़ा दिया उसको. I have to believe that this is bizarre, but I have to believe that this person enjoys this. So do that. If I have slightest idea of यार नहीं ऐसा थोड़ी होता है.
You will never be able to convince it.
You won't be able to make it believable at all. The more the difficult and more disturbing character, you need to believe it like much higher rate.
Right.
Otherwise, it won't work. Like Tilo and the disturbance they had.
Correct.
If they don't feel that disturbance and they put their faith into it, it won't work.
Like there was this moment in the confrontation scene where she says, "You were also watching me," and then with the fight really intensifies, and she says, and I threaten that if you don't, I'm going to tell everyone. I'm going to fire you, and no one is going to hire you in this building. And she says, so I'll also tell people. And then I say this one thing
It's
that
the cruelest one. Who will believe you?
who
Who
do
will
you
they
think,
believe?
who do you think they'll believe? And in saying that only, I felt
Yeah.
I disappointed. Like like where the line between
Correct.
the character that you play, the person that you want to be or hope to be.
Yeah.
I only felt that when push comes to shove, I pull out the class card.
You'll bring out the correct.
That I'm educated, I'm privileged, and who are they going to believe? And that these ugliness, but it was also so
It is the
delicious,
coolest,
like you were saying, to experience that. But I remember feeling, oh, that was so uncomfortable.
To all of you, what's the best way to sort of decompress after shooting something really intense?
Are we going in line again?
No, just
No, we can start from Sanya.
Start from Sanya, yes.
We'd like to hear you.
Lovely.
Tell us.
I like to spend time with my friends. And they're all not from the industry. None of them are actors. So I like doing that. Like, I just want to spend time with them. That's how I decompress whenever I'm shooting something intense.
Okay.
I think it depends if you're physically tired or emotionally tired. If it's physical, then it's something recreational you would do. But if it's emotional, I think I like to be by myself. If you're happy with the things that you've given on set, you kind of know it when you're back at home. And there's a sense of satisfaction and sometimes a sense of peace. You're by yourself. That's all it takes to be excited the next day. Now let's target the next scene.
Correct.
This is what I want to keep the film at and this character at. So nothing in specific. Like it's been different on different days. Depends.
What was the question? Only I forgot.
How do you decompress?
How do you decompress after
What's
an
the best way to
intense
decompress after shooting something very intense?
like a
I have
prescription
had a
eats?
lot of fundas about what I think about acting and what my process is. सारा मतलब मुझे लग रहा है झूठ ही बोला होगा मैंने पहले अपने आप को because it keeps changing with time. This is very distracting.
See,
This is
decompress
how we
while
decompress.
this is decompressing while we are
how
on,
we fucking
on
decompress.
working, talking.
Sushi, cheese,
Fruits.
fruit.
There's a few things that I started doing. One was carrying my embroidery to set. Which
Yeah, I've seen it.
which if just let's say I'm not able to get along with the people, I have worked with very nice people, but let's say, or I really like the people, but right now I don't want to talk. And I say embroidery jab kar rahe ho because I'm focusing on something. Now something people only don't come to me.
Right.
And this way I can also just revise my lines while I'm doing my embroidery, and I've also at the end of it finished an embroidery. By the end of
Something came out of it.
something came out of it. It's also very precise, and it requires a certain thoughtlessness. So just you enter from one and you exit from one, and you have to just fill a space, And so it was very fun to do that, and gardening. And I collect flowers and leaves that I press, and just basically, I don't know, this very Martha Stewart side of me has come out post-COVID. Making, I think noticing things that are growing around me, collecting them, like foraging, I find it very relaxing. And then I'll go and make flower arrangements in my room. Whichever hotel that I'm staying in will have, my parents' photographs. Like I have to have my own bedspread, and then I'll collect flowers from the shoot. In fact, I've gone into my co-actors and rooms and arranged flowers in their rooms. Once my room
stress.
is full of flowers.
How is this stressing you? This is inviting more stress.
Where is the work coming from? I want to know how many hours do you actually work and how many hours do you spend arranging every flowers in everybody's room?
But I have seen her doing that. That's the beauty of I have seen
really
doing
worried
that.
now.
Like
Aapke
I worked
kamre
with her
mein
in one project, and every evening there are like 7-8 people in her room and having tea or different flavor, and she's making everyone's choices tea, and like there are so many flowers in the room. And like, wow.
So sweet.
But it's very stressing for me.
Maybe that's de-stressing for her.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
de-stressing for me. It is.
To have
Because I think it's a
everybody-
privilege. It's and earlier I think I was so tight and cynical, and just feeling like I haven't been given my dues. And there was sort of nice feeling. I don't want to go there, but as if the world is against you, and it's just negative. And I found just letting go of that makes me just nicer. I want to, make tea. I'm not doing it out of an obligation. And I like a cheerful, atmosphere with just wildflowers that I've picked up from wherever I'm shooting. So it's also just a nice thing to have.
Beba, I want to know what you do for de-stress.
What? I have
Because
no
your life
idea.
is super glamorous. So is it starred? Every time I finish a scene, I book a hotel.
London Claridge's.
Book a ticket.
No, right now it's just, I think my coming home to my children. But nothing like after a long emotional scene, or the first thing I do is just reach home and go in for a hot shower. And that time is that 10-15 minutes of extra time with that, just standing there, maybe revising the fact that
It's
Jaideep
all
was
over.
too good. मुझे कोई देखेगा कि नहीं देखेगा?
मेरा close-up फिर से लो.
मेरा close-up
मेरा close-up कर मैं फिर से करूँगी.
विजय वर्मा और जयदीप का हाँ मेरा होगा. चलो ठीक है. Next
और
scene
बात
I'll
करते
think.
This is more stress actually.
Yeah.
Making stress for the next day.
See, now you like the tea, right? Now you like the tea one. And instead of...
That's my. That I'm
What about you do?
Me?
अभी
मैं
आपकी
stress
बारी आ गई,
लेता ही
हम लोग
नहीं.
लाइन में जा रहे हैं.
line
चलो,
में
stress
आ
लेता ही
जाओ.
But like Vibha said, I remember during Razi, it was very like disturbing world.
Yeah.
Sidharth said it's very disturbing to see, to think about a spy whose the biggest challenge is not to reveal the identity.
Yeah.
The day it's done, you're gone. So while Razi were doing, and I was reading and watching stuff from the world, it is a scary world. And I remember that somebody told me that I started mumbling in the dreams. After Razi and Patalok, I took the longest shower of my life. I was there for like 1.5 hours, holding a drink, and just be there कि पानी सर पे गिरे जा रहा है और आपको कुछ नहीं सोचना है. It's over, gone, done. I'm not going to go in that space again.
Yeah, I've just like washed it away.
Yeah, it's going away.
I think it's only after the
In
shoot
normal days,
gets
it's normal.
over.
It's something they.
If I'm still shooting, I also like to be in that mood.
Last day of shoot, you're saying.
I don't
Yeah,
want
last
to
day.
be stressed.
Last day of shoot.
Last day.
Yeah, last day of shoot. Like if I'm
Yeah,
still
it's
shooting, then
always-
I would like to be in that mood forever and ever.
So then you wouldn't take a shower.
I would. नहीं नारी.
Not with every project. It happens with
सबको सफर कराओ, सबको stress दो.
some days maybe, or
Yeah.
some projects, like very few projects.
Right.
So
Kajol is
especially-
never stressed, so I don't think she's
Yeah.
de-stressing.
No, I get stressed. No, I don't. I'm lying. No, I do get stressed. I think when you're doing a particularly emotional scene or a really long dialogue or something, you're happy with your work. So there is that sense of satisfaction. But I switch off. The minute the scene is over, director says cut, I'm done. I forget my lines also. If you tell me like 15 minutes later, वापस set कर, वापस एक और shot लेना है, what? Paper लाओ. मेरे को याद नहीं है क्या हुआ है उसके बाद. So my short-term memory is very convenient, and but I think yes, if I've done a particularly draining scene, or if I've done something that's been very, very emotional, or very like, you have to break down and you're doing this and you're doing that, or whatever, very like, emotionally draining, then yes. Then I'm like, acha theek hai. Now everybody needs to leave me alone for like a good 2 hours. I'll sit, I'll read my book, I'll listen to music, I'll work out. I won't talk to anybody because I think I don't have the emotional wherewithal to handle anybody at that point of time. And I think that everybody is quite on the page with me also. They also want to leave me alone at that time.
I've observed her on set because I was an assistant.
Yes.
And she was very easily reading her book, and this obviously every set is so chaotic.
Yeah.
And I think that day, half an hour later, was her main crying scene as My Name is Khan, which was that one track in when she finds out that her son has passed away.
Yeah.
And I mean, at least for me, I was like, so easy, just reading a book. Maybe she was not reading a book or reading a book, that's her process.
Correct.
And we've seen her so many days, it was just amazing. When we took one shot, and that was it. I mean, that's also something that we were amazed by, that you're concentrating and just possibly subconsciously working on it. And she was
Were you
brilliant.
reading that book?
Just with the book.
I was reading.
इतनी thick किताब थी मैंने आज तक नहीं पढ़ी इतनी मोटी. मतलब,
That was before the time of Kindle.
Right.
I sing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You
singing
sleep.
is for
Sing.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, sure.
de-stressing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and some maybe happy song, and sometimes I'll just I close my eyes and like something like raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Crying is not for me. Hey, I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me. Ta-ra-ra-ra, ta-ta-ta-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra. Some
Mentally
Ah,
stressful.
lovely.
Lovely voice.
Wow.
But then, if I close my eyes and I'm into myself, I'm singing like this, it's not,
Yeah.
it just,
You didn't sing, but
You're kind of.
Yeah, what about you?
Her
on your-
voice
You
now.
go now.
That
Voice
singer
है.
thing, मेरा वो
He
है.
has the singer's disease.
आज आपने रियाज नहीं किया.
Yeah.
आज आपने-
Is there a line from one of your films or one of your characters that has stuck with you, stayed with you?
Please don't ask me that line because it'll just be like everyone knows the line and whatever. Just say it and then.
But no,
move
but
on.
what's the one that stuck with you? Is that the one that also?
Yeah, I think now मैं अपनी favorite हूँ.
Ah,
That's why
Period.
I'm done with this question. Now
Done.
everyone has an answer.
Yes.
because I'm
that was the
bored
time
of
she thought it was a
We keep saying
biopic.
it always.
She's like, अरे मैं अपनी favorite हूँ. She's like, अरे biopic shoot कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
Like, how you got this line?
Others? Kajol?
like I said, my short-term memory is fantastic.
She doesn't
It's
remember
gone.
anything.
It's out. I don't remember my own dialogues. I don't remember anybody else's either.
But it's also about attachment, right? It's about, so you're not particularly.
not really. Yours?
Not exactly. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि वो चिपक गई आपके साथ, but कुछ चीजें रह जाती, कुछ लाइनें रह जाती. For example, राजी में एक लाइन थी कि जिस दिन तुम्हें एहसास हो कि तुम्हारा पर्दा फाश हो चुका है, समझ लो हो चुका है. ये तुम्हें लग रहा है कि ये तुम्हें सिर्फ लग रहा है कि तुम्हारा पर्दा राज फाश हो चुका है.
जी.
वो लाइन बहुत ज्यादा बड़ी थी. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि स्पाई वर्ल्ड के लिए उससे बेटर डर नहीं हो सकता है.
Correct.
तो वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंगली लिखी हुई लाइन थी. और एक पाताल लोक में था कि बस वो एक लाइन बोलता है उस स्टेशन पे कि सारी बातें बोलने के बाद अपनी वो 2 मिनट की सीन में पूरी हिस्ट्री बताता है कि मैं कहाँ से आया था यहाँ और मैं कितने साल से ये सब कर रहा हूँ, और हाउ अदर पीपल हैव गॉन ahead of me because they are like very जुगाड़ू जिसको
Yeah.
बोलते हैं. And then in the end of that scene he just says कि ये केस मेरे लिए बहुत जरूरी है अंसारी. वो मुझे लगता है कि वो हाथीराम की इतना है अंदर उसके.
Right.
That scene, that line was amazing, written amazingly. So वो आपके साथ कुछ टाइम तक रह जाता है.
जी.
Please.
Anyone else?
I remember
A line.
Last Stories 2 में जब मैं तीलों को बोलती हूँ मेरे को भी मज्जा आता था ना. That line took a lot of effort from my side to say it because she's almost coming in terms with her sexuality and saying that क्योंकि मेरे को भी मज्जा आता था ना. So that line has stayed with me. And from Gully Boy, क्या तूने कभी सोचा था मुझे कैसे छूना है? That line really struck me. The first time I read it in the script also, I told Zoya कि a woman having children in front of children asking her husband, तूने कभी सोचा था मुझे कैसे छूना है, is so like shocking at the same time. Oof, ना तो और मेरे को भी मज्जा आता था.
Yeah.
I vividly remember most of my dialogues. अगर ये मेमोरी स्कूल में होती तो कितना अच्छा होता. I remember this ad I did before Dangal, a McDonald's ad, और उसमें कन्नड़ा में एक लाइन था कि मत्थी चिकन मैग्रेला बोरगलवा नेनेगे. वो भी याद है मुझे. तो I don't know how I remember.
You know you have to translate that for us.
हाँ कि फिर से चिकन मैग्रिल ऑर्डर कर रहे हो, बोर नहीं हो जाते. तो वो भी याद है मुझे.
No, but which is the one that has stayed with you?
All of
But
them.
the chicken मैग्रिल
This chicken hungry has stayed with you. खाना खाने का time हो गया है. Is it dinner time? Should we pass the cheese tray back?
Again.
could be that.
वाह.
That और दंगल का कोई डायलॉग कि पापा के तरीके कमजोर ना है दीदी, आदमी कमजोर हो गया.
Right.
Many, I remember many dialogues.
Nice.
I wish I had this memory in school.
Correct.
I don't know why. It's weird that I remember lines, but school का कुछ भी याद नहीं है मुझे.
You're doing what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I'm doing what I like, but I can't remember.
No?
Yeah, to think of a line, not because of the line, but possibly the emotion behind it in recent years would be Captain Vikram Batra's Ye Dil Mange More. I always went back to imagining his attitude and mindset on that battlefield to come up with such a quick line to tell his subordinates. So, more than the words he said, it's the situation that he was in. And that, we get so stuck up with our fears and our insecurities here. And someone at the brink, at the face of death, would be so nonchalant and say, "Ye dil mange more, sir, ye dil mange more." I keep going back to that thought that, whenever we find our lives very difficult and fearful. So I thought it's kind of unbelievable in my head. So I keep reminding myself that there was a man who did that in those times. So yeah, maybe that line.
Who's the actor, living or dead, that you'd most like to meet or work with?
Me?
Oh.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
First. I would love to meet, I think I would love to meet Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
I would love to meet Meryl Streep. I would love to meet Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Two people I would just love, because I think both of them have this amazing joie de vivre. And they've also done, of course, amazing work.
yeah.
But I love the fact that I would love to meet Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I don't see him too much on
screen anymore, yeah.
on screen anymore. But again, I would love, that's another actor that maybe you should ask how his roles have changed him.
True.
So yeah, there is that. I would love to sit with Amitji one day, and have, he's great to sit and chat with, but no, you never get the chance to ask him about his work. Somehow it's always in social situations.
Correct.
And so yes, these 3-4 actors that that are on my bucket list
Nice.
to have conversations with. And now you. Yeah, so many actors that you would like to. I keep going back when I see Dilip Kumarji's work. I was seeing, or even Devanandji's. When you see their work, and they were extremely charming, and they were extremely. I think they created so many. They defined or kind of the tonality of Hindi commercial cinema that we have today.
Correct.
Post-partition, the kind of work that they did set the tone for heroes.
Oh, I want to add one more. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to add Sridevi also to my list.
Yeah.
I want to add Sridevi to my list. I mean, I wish that I could speak to her in her language, though. Yes.
Oh.
Continue.
Yeah, so I think the Devanandji, Dilip Saab, working with Mr. Bachchan, or if I could have a conversation about acting, like she said, we get to meet everyone socially. We never get to really get involved in. Because everyone finds it very boring to talk about that in social gatherings. So maybe one would sit down and have talks about acting with them. It would be great. So,
Kareena?
I'm still thinking.
Sridevi for sure. Nah?
The best.
The best.
Yeah, so many,
The
many of,
the best. She was awesome.
Actresses that we've
She was
always
really awesome.
wanted to meet. Whether, of course, Meryl Streep, everyone. But I'm happy just also meeting everyone here, because I think we're all doing good work.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be meeting you guys.
Me too.
Sanya, Jaideep, Amruta?
All of them,
Yeah.
honestly. I hope I get to work with all wonderful actors someday.
Yeah, I think Meryl Streep is on everybody's list,
List,
I guess.
yeah, yeah.
But I must say, some new actors, like I saw this film called Dhuin on Mubi, and there's this new actor called Abhinav Jha in this film. He was so good there. That rawness, no, I'm really envious.
Yeah.
They're so good. And now this new film called Pokhar Ke Dunu Par. That also, these new actors are very fresh, yeah.
Who would you like to meet?
Sometime.
I feel like, of course, the people whose work I've admired, but I feel maybe it's better I don't meet them.
Yeah, they
Because
say
so
don't
that-
meet your.
They say, don't meet
They say
your
that don't meet your
heroes.
heroes. Yeah.
Because there's an enigma, and I have made my own version of them,
Yeah.
based on, I like the storybook that I have created about them. And perhaps, what if they turned out to be not so nice people? Then I'll,
then
It's
you'll be
shattered.
shattered.
Yeah.
then so I think sometimes it's nice. It's nice to have. I like not knowing, not necessarily meeting the actors I like, because there's an allure, there's a sense of mystery, which is nice to have. I'm very curious of the recent film that I watched that moved me a lot, and I would love a chance to have a meal with those actors of Joyland.
Yeah.
I just thought that the performances of the actors in that film
They were incredible. Yeah.
really felt very like, wow, how are you so joyful in the face of such sadness?
Yeah.
But they had such lightness. I would love to have a meal with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely. Jaideep?
There's so many actors. Like, I love them so much.
I mean, you'd love to sit down next to Bebo also.
Yeah, see,
आप तो
I mean,
पर आप तो किसी से बात ही
हाँ,
नहीं
लेकिन आपको किसी से बात
I
नहीं
would
करनी
love
है,
to
आपको
work
सिर्फ कुर्सी
in
पे
a
बैठना है
film
साइड पे.
with both the ladies. of-
Now he's working with Seth. Next, hopefully, then you talk to him.
Yeah, I will. For
Because
sure.
in that he's not
But
serious.
I wish I had worked with Irfan Saab
Yeah.
Oh,
With
Yeah.
who?
Yeah.
and Tabu in it.
Yeah.
मुझे हमें सुनाई नहीं दिया.
First name. Oh, अच्छा.
मजाक मजाक में घर पे बोलता हूँ मैं ये बात और दूसरी चीज के लिए कि I wish someday some assistant from Martin Scorsese calls me, and there's this film where Al Pacino is there and Bob is there, and you are the third one.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Wow.
It just
God willing.
Yeah. Who knows, right? Who
Yeah,
knows?
never know.
It's really nice to sit in silence with Jaideep because he's so comfortable in his skin.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to always talk, but I really admired him deeply, his work, and we've sat down in silence, and it's been absolutely comfortable.
There's no pressure for conversation.
No,
That's
but
lovely.
I've not felt like he's very warm and at the same time. So it was quite a special experience to work with him. And huh?
Which film did you
We
do?
can't talk about it now, no? I think I'm not allowed to share.
Why? Something's
As in it's
coming
not
up.
released?
Types, ऐसा है?
no.
अभी तक release
अच्छा.
नहीं हुई.
No.
अच्छा,
Oh, okay. So
it's
we'll
on
get to
the
see it.
OTT,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
And I felt the same way with when Amruta, Konkona and I were in a room. When women lift each other up, it's
Yeah.
not a gender thing.
Yeah.
But there was this idea for some time that, she's so fun, yeah, she's just like a man.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of, I prefer, men friends because women are so, whatever. And you hear these things, but in my 40s, I have to say that my female friendships are just so exciting.
Yeah.
Because the way the women are pushing their boundaries, that being in a set with her, Coco, she has a child, and she's making this film, it's hard, but there's such a sense of excitement.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'd like to be in a room with people whose energies excite me, and not so much about, meeting a big
celebrities.
star. Or,
बहुत छोटी छोटी खुशियाँ जब पूरी होती है ना तो बहुत मजा आता है.
जी.
After FTI, I came to Bombay, and in my college days, Ajay sir, we used to be huge fan,
Yeah.
like huge, the entire group,
Correct.
and of course Kajol.
Yeah.
The day they got married, we had a celebration in my college, like huge celebration.
That's so sweet.
केक वेक आई और सब लोग मतलब पूरा गैंग जो हमारा था 8-10 लोगों का, और लड़कियां इतनी खुश थी उस दिन जो हमारे गैंग की थी कि यार दोनों बेस्ट लोग हैं ये और ये they are together. And my first film I worked with Ajay sir, like a very small role, and I wish that I work with him again and again because he is one of the most humble
That's right.
and secured actor.
That's
He
real true.
knows where he stands. Nobody gonna look anywhere else. जहाँ वो खड़े हैं ना,
Correct.
वो कुछ नहीं करेंगे और आपकी निगाह सिर्फ उनके ऊपर जाएगी. And of course, maybe someday I work with him. It's gonna be really difficult for me.
It will be.
Yeah,
It will
I
be.
know
Promise
that.
you.
I know that. But I wish that happens someday. क्योंकि वो होती है ना वो.
Because Kajol is not going to be in silence.
His process goes out of the window.
Exactly. That quiet bit is not happening.
Yeah, but I love that.
Kareena and Kajol, you all first worked together, more than 20 years ago? And you all made 2 movies. Yeah.
I mean,
K3G
was about in 2003.
One, no?
Yeah.
No,
actually
2001.
One.
Yeah.
22 years ago.
And then you all worked together once again. So you all worked together twice. She spoke about friendships, female friendships. I mean, it seems like
We
this
worked
is.
twice, no? Or 3 times.
I don't know, babe.
Yeah, you've forgotten. So it's fine.
I mean, how do you? It seems like the friendship is very much alive. It seems like
I think there's a mutual respect that we have.
Yeah.
I think Kajol is probably I'm the only actress that she's liked working with. I know that also.
You could be right.
Because, yeah, I think the process is similar because
What's,
we're like
what's
just
the
like,
because?
yeah.
No, I think we both,
process,
we,
like,
we
we're just
both have a lot
performing.
of fun.
Yeah.
We both have a lot of fun. We're both very secure as actors. And I think we both don't have I think we're both very generous actors. I would say that for both of us. So if there have been scenes that we have been in, there is no competition.
right.
Like with most, if you work with actors who have that feeling that they're not generous, and I have worked with some of them, and they're not generous. They just feel that it's them that matters. Or अरे मेरी line cut नहीं होनी चाहिए. अरे बोले बाबा तू line ले मैं expression में काम करा लूँगी तू line
Be
ले
very happy that
बहुत बुरा लगता है उस वाइब में ना बहुत बुरा लगता है
Yeah.
कि सामने वाले को लग रहा है कि उसको प्रूव करना है सब कुछ
हाँ तो तू
Please
line
करने
ले
पाए।
ले please.
जो करना है
मैं
कर।
अपना close-up पे मैं काम कर लूँगी अपना मुझे line नहीं चाहिए ले ले. So I think we both have the same this thing. Of course, I like 7 o'clock shifts and she doesn't. That's
But
about
that's changed now.
really.
Yeah, because now after the babies, now I'm also like
7 o'clock shift works now,
early
babe.
morning.
Telling
Need
you.
to make a third film together.
You don't like night shoot.
I hate night shoots.
Yeah.
I hate. Now it's 6 बजे. I mean, like just ना मेरी घंटी बज जाती है.
I hate those shoots though who has like 2 to 2 shift.
अय्या.
ना दिन ना रात.
Nah.
Yeah.
Neither nor that.
I just can't
Yeah.
handle it.
But I hate night.
Yeah, it's too sleepy.
But
आप
this
कहीं के नहीं
generosity we are talking
Painful.
about, I have worked with her for a photo shoot, and I remember I could not. एक तो कोई था मुझे posing ठीक से मैं बोल रही थी I'm uncomfortable, and she showed me how to. She's an amazing. So
Yeah.
she showed me how to do it, and afterwards I went and I was like, hey, thank you that you did that, and she's like, we all have to look beautiful, right? And that stuck me here. That was such a powerful line. We all have to look beautiful.
No, we
right?
all
Because
do. I do.
it's
I
like
believe. I never
all
believe
win-
that a
all
film
win
is about
situation. Yeah,
one.
we all can
Film is
win.
never about one person.
Yeah.
A scene is never about one person. You can't make it work by yourself. It's always what the other person gives to you that you are able to react to. If the other person is fabulous, then you will be fabulous.
Yeah, but I genuinely believe in that.
That's true.
Yeah, but I like that line. We all have to look beautiful,
Yeah.
right? Coming from, yeah.
But also I've worked with Kajol and Ajay and both of them are like A and Z because like it's like she's like all the processes are like I don't know what.
Very different.
Very different.
And when we are together in one frame,
I
it's
was
even
gonna ask,
funnier.
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I'm like, ये क्या हो?
Tell us. We want to know.
then I'm like, keep a check of myself.
Yeah?
Keep a check on myself, literally.
Yeah. Then she has to be like quiet because then she
But
get
Ajay
like.
sir is very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
He's
very,
funny.
very less words, but it's the most
He also
funniest
sort of wears his
guy.
stardom very lightly, which is such an
Yeah.
attractive quality. Yeah. I'm hoping to end on a reflective note. I want to ask all. I want to ask all of you, what do you know now, today, that you wish you could go back and tell your younger selves at the beginning of your careers?
Social media is coming.
Beware.
Beware. Have as much fun as you want now.
It's like
because
winter
it's
is
all
coming.
gonna be recorded
Camera
later.
phones are coming.
Hidden cameras everywhere now.
Oh, that's a good one, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, what will you say?
We're going in
Social
order?
media is there.
Social media is there. I'm like, can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But don't be harsh on yourself. I was really harsh on myself. I used to not like myself at all in any of the works that I did. Like, I didn't like myself with Dangal and many other films that I did after that. So I was too harsh on myself. I have imposter syndrome. I think I wish I could go back and enjoy all the releases and just be in that moment and not take things so seriously. I wish I could tell myself that.
How lovely.
I would have told myself, OTT is coming, don't worry. No, because for an actor like me, Dipti ji told me once that she stopped acting after a certain point of time because she said there were no roles, like the people were getting slotted, and then So for an actor like me, I was like, what's going to be my future? What am I going to do after a certain point of age? At that time, I didn't know OTT would come to India, and all my challenging roles are on OTT.
Right.
So I would have told myself, calm down. Like I used to just feel at that time, yeah, Hollywood में तो किसी भी age में actor को, actresses को, especially, they get good roles. What am I going to do with myself? Because I don't want to do the same thing again and again. So it's great
That would have been comforting if you knew that at that time. Yeah. How lovely.
Nothing as such, but I think I agree with Sanya. Don't take yourself so seriously.
She never said that.
I did say that.
Like, हम अपने आप को लेके बहुत ज़्यादा वो रहते हैं कि
Yeah.
Don't be harsh.
yeah, harsh on yourself. Take it easy. It's okay. हो जाएगा. And especially this social media is coming. Beware of that.
Sid?
I think enjoying the phase, enjoy the highs, and experience the lows, because I mean it is a seesaw. Like it goes up and down. I think when you're starting off, the sheer excitement, at least in my case, the sheer excitement of being launched in that platform, and then doing the films after that, being known, it was very overwhelming, pretty exciting, and then then you realize it's and then you see certain films which don't go according to what you're expecting. So you appreciate those times. That I didn't realize कि आगे जाके ऐसा भी होगा. So I think I would tell them to enjoy the particular phase. That there's a film that you're getting a lot of love for. Take it in. Enjoy it while it lasts. There's a film that doesn't go your way. Take it in
lots
a
of
stride and work for
pictures.
the next one. Sorry?
I said take lots of pictures.
Social media's here. Yes. And actually, even our case, when we did our first film, social media wasn't there.
Huh?
So, yeah, social media's come.
Tillotama?
I think I would tell myself that everything that you think is weird about you is going to make sense later, and you're going to use it, and it's going to make you smile, and everything that I didn't like about that you don't like about yourself.
Yeah.
People are going to love about you.
There's a
later.
reason for it to be there, whatever it is that I was very harsh, but things that I thought were weird about me, or were different, and which kind of made you, when you're younger, like whether it was a stammer or keeping to myself or reading a lot, or finding it easier to be with nature than people, all those things. I mean, it's something I enjoy now about
I think
myself.
I'm still saying those things to myself right now. It's not something in the past. It's, I think, all through for actors.
Yeah, I
in
guess.
general. Yeah. You never get over your quirkiness or your unique points.
Yeah, I
Yeah, so
suppose so.
It's an ever evolving process. I think.
Right.
I think there was just more a sense of judgment, that this doesn't fit in, and I'm not getting work because I'm like this.
Right.
And you make all these theories about why, you're not being accepted. But you're also then...
Yeah. I think anxiety for sure for all of us. I mean, you're more anxious for these reasons.
Yeah, perhaps.
That you have these,
Yeah.
certain elements.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that about themselves. So I
For
think,
me, it was
anxiety
always
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, कि अभी काम मिल रहा है, then I might not have it. Like even when I was doing Dangal, both Fatima and I used to feel कि they might chuck us out anytime. So बहुत मेहनत करी है. So we need to like prove ourselves as actors, and that kind of stayed for the rest. Like most of the films that I did after that, कि कभी भी निकाल दिए जाएंगे. We'll be replaced by someone else.
आपका हो गया.
That fear was always there in my head. Like for the most,
But you all were fab, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was outstanding.
Thank you.
movie.
Yeah, it was fab.
But I'm from Haryana, so I know there's so many things. But the way Sanya said "Chal Gita," it was the way she said, "Oh, yes."
But we were superb in the film. You were
Thank
really,
you.
really outstanding.
Thank you.
Kareena, what would you tell your younger self?
Sid is like,
मैं अपनी favorite थी और रहूंगी. मैं तब भी थी.
Social media हो या ना हो.
हो गया, हाँ.
oh yeah, no, I wish someone had told me that I would get married to my sister's co-star and have 2 children with him. Who knows? I don't know where life goes, and
Correct.
Just don't think so much. Of course, work hard and just
Tell your
enjoy
younger
life.
self that you will sing a song one day on screen.
Just singing songs.
Better start practicing now.
Karaoke.
Hard, yeah.
I might be a singer when I'm 18.
Who knows? Who knows?
But मैं अपनी favorite हूँ is an affirmation. I think most of us
Yeah.
do that every morning 20 times. मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ.
Positive enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, best not to think so much. But
Say
it's,
that.
Yeah,
tougher
no,
than
don't
said.
think so
So
much.
think so
no?
much.
much
Yeah.
harder than.
Enjoy every day. Be grateful
Enjoy,
for
be in the
every
moment, yeah. Lovely, wise words to end with.
Be in the
Thank you.
moment.
Lovely ladies, gentlemen, this was so generous of you. Thank you for opening your hearts. Thank you for allowing us to into your heads and your hearts, actually. You give us a sense of your process. You give us a sense of what makes you tick as actors. And I think that we're all sort of, anyone that watches this will be richer for it, especially younger aspiring actors who I think will benefit a lot from the experiences you've had. Thank you for really, like I said at the start, bringing joy into our lives and maybe making us see the world a little bit differently, understanding characters and sort of understanding their flaws and how you related to those people. So thank you for pumping flesh and blood into characters that were just words on a page. Looking forward to seeing lots more of everything that you do in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.